Okay, so I'm Rafael from Nubugs project, and today we're gonna see a Java challenge about the equals and hashcode contract. So it's a bit confusing sometimes when the hashcode method has to return true, the equals method can return true or false. So let's explore this concept on this challenge. So I'm gonna just share my screen here. Okay, so this is the challenge, and we have a set. We add 3 elements, and we have here the hashcode method and also the equals method. And basically, what I want to know here is the output, and I'll give you some time, and then feel free to come up with the answer. Okay, so let's see the answer then. Okay, so the answer is hashcode 1
Oh no.
Kazakhstan, hashcode 2 US&A, hashcode 2 England equals 2 England. So yeah, Ruan got it right. Okay, guys, so let's see why. Let's see the reason of it. So here on the set interface, we are adding a new object, and in the add method, it will always invoke the hashcode method either way. So I can show you here on this method. So yeah, inside the add method, you see that there is a put. And then on the put method, we are invoking this hash that invokes the hash code. So either way, the hash code will be invoked. And then here you can see on this very simple algorithm, of course I'm being sarcastic. So if the hash code is true, then the equals method will be invoked. Otherwise, it won't be invoked. So I'm gonna just show you more carefully just to make it more clear. Okay, so here we're going to invoke the hashcode method because it will always invoke it. And then we're going to add the second object that, as you see here, the hashcode is different. So if the hashcode is different, it doesn't matter. It's not necessary to compare also the equals method, because we have to remember that the hashcode is one field that has the highest chances of being different from the other object. So it might be an ID, it might be an algorithm that it would make for a specific field. It doesn't matter what is the hash code. What is your hash code implementation? It has to be a field that is unique. Yeah, if you have that, if the hash code is different, then we have to go to the equals method. What is the equals method? The equals method is the method that compares the whole state of the object. So for example, if we have here name, or if you have here age, or whatever, you would have to put on the equals method. So if the equals method compares all fields, why we would have to compare again if the hashcode method is already false? Because, I mean, if one field is already different, we don't need to do it again, because the equals method will just compare every single field of the object. Okay, so by knowing that, we know that on the second add here, the equals method won't be invoked. But on the third add, then it's different because the hash code is the same. So when that happens, the equals method has to be invoked, because even though the hash code method is the same as the previous object, then we're going to compare the whole state of the object, that in that case is not equals. Here is US&A, and on the third add, we have England. So it's different. Let's then debug and go through the whole process. Let's make it very clear. Okay, so just change here. Yeah, we're gonna add Borat with the hash code with the ID of 1 and the country of Kazakhstan. Then you see that the hash code is being invoked. And then we go to the second add, and the hash code is different. So there's no need to go in the equals method. because the equals method is supposed to compare the whole state. As the ID is part of the whole state and it's already different, the equals method doesn't have to be invoked. It would be like a waste of performance. So the main reason of having the hashcode method and the equals method is because of performance optimization. I mean, you don't need to go to the equals method and compare field by field if the hash code is already false. So it brings a lot of performance optimization on your software if you are using hash code with equals. And another thing that's very important to remember is that once you overridden the equals method, you always override the hashcode method as well. Otherwise, the set, for example, the set feature of adding just unique elements wouldn't work. So it's very important. Hashcode and equals method are always together. So remember that. Okay, so let's go here. Then it's going to invoke just the hashcode method because it's useless to go to the equals method since the hash code is already different. And then on the third object is different because it has the same ID. So as we have the same ID, we have to go to the equals method. Then we're going to compare the whole state of the object, that in that case just the country. But in a real object, we would have, I don't know, many fields. So that makes a great difference to optimize the performance of your software. Yeah, and as you saw here, the hash code and the equals method were invoked. Okay, so I'm gonna just explain to you the contract of the equals and hash code method. So I wrote this article in Java World, and I created here a table with those comparisons. So if the hash code comparison is true, then the equals method will be executed. If it returns false, the equals method won't be executed. That is exactly what we explored here. And then if the hash code comparison returns true, the equals method may return true or false. But if the hash code is false, the equals method has to always return false. So we have to remember that when we are implementing the equals and hash code methods. And when the equals method returns true, the hash code has to return true as well. When the equals method returns false, the hash code can return true or false. That is basically exactly what we saw here. And that's the counter. It makes sense because if we consider that the hash code is an ID that is part of the object, I mean, if the equals method is comparing every single field, if the hash code method is false, the equals method has to be false always. So I'm gonna put this link on the video description, and then you can go deeper into these concepts. And they are really important because if a bug happens with those concepts, you can become just very confused why it's not working a simple comparison. And if you don't have this knowledge, you maybe would have to create a crazy if with comparing every single field, and then imagine how the code would be bad. So that's why it's really important to have this deep knowledge in the Java core concepts. And that's it, guys. Do you have any questions about this challenge?
I'm good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, so just gonna stop sharing my screen here. Okay, so on this challenge, you saw how is the contract of the hashcode and equals method when they have to return true or false, and how to implement them effectively to improve the performance of your software. And yeah, I hope you got value from this video. I always put a lot of effort to really explore the concepts of the Java core, and to make you to understand better and to implement better code and to have more maintainable code and be able to track down bugs more easily. So if you want to know more, go to nobugsproject.com, and then there's a section there called Java Dev Gym, and then you can take challenge, you can improve your Java skills, and you can you can take your Java skills to a whole next level. So that's it, guys, and see you in the next time.